Hello. Today we will see how to configure static IP on Windows Server 2016, which is deployed as a virtual machine over VMware Fusion version 12. So by default, when we install Windows Server, uh, basically it gets assigned a IP address with DHCP. This IP address is not static. Basically, it can keep changing based on our shutdown and restart of our virtual machine. And if more virtual machines are configured with the hypervisor, then the IP addresses can get shuffled or it can get changed. So its best practice to configure a static IP. That's the industry standard best practice for Windows Server or any server. Yeah. So let's start the configuration. So we are going to check the IP address. So currently we see that it's configured with DHCP and the IP address is 192.168.1.67, and let's configure it as a static IP. Yeah. So we will configure 192.168.1 dot 120 as the static IP. We have got the subnet mask assigned. Okay. Now default gateway will keep 192.168.1.254. Yeah, and we'll even keep the same as our DNS server. So 192.168.1 dot 254. So with this change, um, the static IP is configured. Let's enable the change. Yeah. So we have enabled the change. So let's see. Let's refresh this. Yeah. So we can see the IP address got refreshed to the static IP. Let's test the IP now. So we are trying to ping external world, and yes, we are able to ping. Now we will try to ping the host machine on which the VM is installed right now. So 192.168.1.119. This is the static IP for my host machine. So yes, we are able to ping from the VM. So now this is a shell prompt from my host machine. So we will try to ping the configured IP address from a host machine now, right? So our IP address for the VM is 192.168.1.120. So let's try to ping it from our host. Yeah, so we see that we are not able to ping. Means there is some firewall restriction on our Win server which is restricting it. So we go in tools and in Windows firewall with advanced security, and here for the inbound rules we search for file and printer sharing. So we can see that file and printer sharing ICMP for IPv4 is basically disabled. So let's enable this. Yeah. So now since it is enabled, let's try the ping again from our host machine. Yeah. So we are able to ping our uh, Windows server from our host now. So thus we have configured the static IP over our Windows server, and we are able to set up a connectivity with external world as well as with our host machine. Yeah. Thank you.